Becky, how you doing? Uh, First of all, Tennessee had a very physical team. You know, they came into the game number one in offense, number one in defense. Very good football team. Um, our kids, our coaches did a wonderful job of preparing our guys and making them believe that we can go win tonight. These guys are happy. They're not surprised. Um, if we have the same amount of turnovers, we can play with anybody. And the two games that we've lost to this point, we had more turnovers than what we got. But our coaches did a great job of making them believe that we had a really good football team. We can compete if we take care of the football and we try to tackle well and play smart. We did. Uh, Defense, we didn't score points there in the first half in the red zone, and then we scored touchdowns in the second half. So, really good job by our coaches once again and our players. You get into coaching for moments like what just happened, and it's to see the kids and the smiles on their face and the hard work that they do, because there's a lot of teams that can't get to that feeling, and we did tonight. And if y'all care, it wasn't a one-score game. You might want to write about that too. But go Hogs! The fans won the game for us. There was four offsides. They started. I think it was the sixth largest crowd in the history of University of Arkansas, and our fans got us four false starts, and it helped us tremendously. And our atmosphere and our coming in today was like any of the elite university football programs. Nobody had nothing on us today. And that was the fans and the facilities and everything like that. This was a big, big, big time atmosphere for college football. And the fans made it happen for us, and we appreciate them. That's it.
Two more questions. How's Talon? Do you know the status? And then what did you think of Singleton when his first couple of series didn't go good, and then he led that last?
Yeah, I think Talon, we'll see. Obviously, it wasn't as bad as for us not to uh, ask him how he felt. Our diagnosis for him was to, if he wanted to get back in the game, we could. Then he got tackled again, and then we just said, okay, that's enough. Let's put Malachi in. Malachi, when he came in, we didn't have great field position, so Bobby was trying to take care of that along with the field position. So, if Bobby just calls what he wants to call on offense there, we usually pretty good. I think part of that was making sure Malachi, we got a little confidence there. Never bad to punt. And then the last two drives, he was phenomenal. He ran it very, very well. And, scored the touchdown there to go ahead. And he'd been here a long time and hadn't got to play, and to go in there and score the winning touchdown with the help of 10 other guys has to be really fulfilling for him. I'm really happy for him.
What did you guys do to throw Iamaleava off pace, whatever, shut him out in the first half? What was happening?
Yeah, the game plan came in, Sunday night. He talked about what he, thought he wanted to do, and we started practicing it on Monday. There was some tweaks and all that, but I think we ran something that they had not seen us run, first of all. Second of all, we ran it real well. We weren't going to let them get behind us if we could help it. And we were really worried about stopping the run, but we always had the edge covered because we were bringing corners off a read run, and we were bringing the field linebacker off a read run, and we mixed it up. So we had a little bit of the odd front and then a little bit of the four-man and mixed it up. We brought total zero blitz heat. I just thought Travis did a wonderful job of calling the defensive game, and more important, getting the kids to believe in what we were going to try to do to stop this very, very, very high-powered offense.
So caught up in all the scrum of people out there on the field, and if you did, what was that like?
Well, yeah, I got caught up in it because I can't move. My damn hips, killing me. Not as bad right now. But yeah, I got caught up, and Holly Rowe wanted to talk to me, and I've had a lifelong, a long friendship with her, and so she wanted to interview me down there. So obviously, I was able to do that, and then after that, I don't remember it. When we beat Texas, I remember that, and all, but I don't remember getting jammed up like I did out there tonight. But it might have been because I just don't move as because my hip, I'm not moving as fast, but. That's why you do it, man. I'd like to do it again next week, but we're off, but
Coach, your emotions, I guess, is the clock was 13 seconds, 6 seconds down to 0.
Well, obviously they think their kids deserve to win. They've, put in the time, and I'm just going, man, let's get it. We got 2 more plays, and let's don't score. Because our kids, I know they think I know our kids, we need to win that one. And so I was just thinking, let's get them on the ground, get them on the ground. Honestly, I was thinking, hey, no penalties in the end zone, to be honest with you. But then whenever he got flushed and he couldn't find anybody, Nico finally tucked the ball to run. I was looking to see if he got the first down. And he did, but his clock ran out. So I was just thinking all those stuff and all those things. And when it was over, I was thinking about how proud that the state of Arkansas is on their football team, and that's the only damn reason. Well, it's not the reason I took the job, but that's one of the top reasons that I came here. I wanted to try to make the state proud of the team.
It's a big win.
Thank you.
The defensive line for Tennessee is no joke.
Yeah, good.
We talked last week about getting pushed back at the front of the pocket. Taylor's losing some confidence. He's 70% tonight. Got pretty good protection.
Man, I was so proud of our offensive line in that aspect. We go through the first half, and we had a little empty protection once. They brought 2 off the edge on us, and Taylor had to scramble out of there. But that I just kept saying on the headsets, man, we're really protecting him well. And then they had to bring some extra heat. They went 0 a time or two too, but that is our best game protecting a quarterback, and we've got to get better. But that's our best game against a really good defensive line. So they've done some things. Bobby and Eric got together and decided how we can protect, but some of them were the same protections. Some of them I really liked what Bobby did when moving. He moved. It had some screens out there. We had a little tunnel screen. We had 2 flare screens, and it slows the outside guys down. And I thought those guys really had a really conscious effort of helping those tackles.
Malachi's moment, whether when he first went in or before that last drive, did you or Bobby or any of the players kind of pull him aside and say anything to him, or was he just kind of ready to go?
He's ready. He gets same amount of reps. He just doesn't have the experience. Bobby and I had great confidence in when he went into the game, and I didn't pull him aside. I'm sure Bobby just coached him up like he does every day at practice and say, hey, let's go. I don't think it was one of those we believe in you things. It's just, all right, bro, it's your time. Let's go get it. So, and he did. Wasn't that something?
Yeah. What did you think of his day?
I thought it was great, especially when we was a little bit out of field goal range and he ran the inside zone, and he got moving now, and he's hard to stop. And then I don't know if they let us score that last score or not. I don't know. He was wide open if Malachi would have handed it to him, and then Malachi broke a tackle, so I guess that they weren't. I had no clue in my mind, or no thinking in my mind that we weren't going to score a touchdown simply because if we could, simply because we could go for two and get up 7. And I didn't I didn't want to kick a field goal. I just didn't. And I told Bobby that as well. And of course, it's a little bit harder when I say, hey, don't throw it, but I sure would like to score, so, but they did a good job. I was proud of Braylon.
Sam, I know y'all weren't able to cash it into points the first half most of the time, but like the offense moved the ball really well.
We did.
What did you think of Bobby's game plan? It looked like y'all used a lot of different personnel groupings and everything like that.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, we didn't have Luke and didn't have Tyrus for almost the whole week. They got a little bit of reps on Wednesday, a little bit on Thursday. So they had to be game planning wise was a little tough. Now, so I thought it was really, really good. They have a good defense. We scored 19 on them and we took 15, but we scored 19 and won the game and were tough and resilient. But I thought Bobby and his side and his staff did a wonderful job of getting guys ready with limited tight ends available.
And you mentioned a one-score win. Not only that, but it was the missed opportunities in the first half. It looked like Tennessee kind of got some momentum in the third quarter to win the way you did. I mean, could this be a turning point for y'all?
I don't know. Sure feels good right now, but it takes two teams out there, and they're probably over there talking about something that I'm thinking we did pretty good. You know what I mean? So it's very, very fulfilling to be up here and we win for the kids and for the coaching staff, and it's but I don't know. Here's what I do. Our team believes we can beat people, and so that solidifies that we can. So it may.
When Tennessee went up 14-3, did you say anything to the team, or did you have to say anything, or did any of the other coaches say anything on the sideline?
Well, yeah, they coaching the whole time, but specifically that I think changed the outcome of the game. Probably not. We just didn't want to panic, and we had to fix some things, so we did, and we had to get the ball rolling a little bit better on offense, and we did. But whenever you come off the field, you try to correct what went wrong, and then you try to continue to find out what we can do. And we went back to a little bit of a flare screen and some things, but probably the thing I was probably at any point in time disappointed about tonight was we had two penalties. We kind of gave them, we didn't give it, they still earned it, but we had two penalties on the second touchdown. And that was a little bit disappointing. But other than that, I talked to both those kids, but they didn't mean to do it. And then they played a hell of a game anyway. So that was probably the only disappointing thing. We had a couple penalties to give them that drive a little bit.
Sam, early on, a lot of the 3-2-6 look from the defense, it kind of looked like. What was it about
Talking
Tennessee?
about us?
Yeah, for you.
Yeah.
What was it about Tennessee's offense that made y'all want to implement that wrinkle this week?
Oh, they can throw it, and their wideouts can run. They can run. So we watched Oklahoma, and they had somewhat success. They held them to 25, and so with all that, and did it fit our schematics? But that's where it started with was the tape on Oklahoma, because they're the only ones that really had done any good at all. The rest of them were in the 50s, 60s, 70s. And so we implemented some of that because of that.
And then on that final drive, you mentioned the tunnel screen to Satania. I mean, that's a play that requires a lot of timing. Just how big of a boost was it for the offense and a confidence boost, I guess, for Malachi to get that play in particular?
Well, again, Coach Petrino's great mind, and he knows what he has, so he went to a little bit of shorter passes for Malachi. You know what I mean? And screens that he can get the ball out of his hands, and so Malachi performed well doing that. And then the touchdown was a read run, which Malachi is really good at. So, credit to Malachi, the offense line, all that, but Bobby, with the way that he understood who's behind quarterback, how we can use them, was really, really big in those drives.
Yeah, Sam, Shipley had I know they weren't super long, but they were pretty clutch field goals and the extra point. Did Ramsey get hurt on? Or
He did.
What happened? And what'd you think of Shipley?
I thought he was perfect. He made every extra point and every field goal. I was so happy with him. I called him out after the game. I called him out with the team. I usually don't do much of that, but kid came in there and kicked a field goal and made it 14-13. That's big, to get us into a field goal situation. So a lot of guys quit. A lot of guys tuck their head and go, "Oh, I'm not playing." Da, da, da. He doesn't. He went out there and kept a great attitude and helped us win a football game.
Ramsey was it his groin again?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Fox, he's like a doctor or something.
Who's that?
Tom. He said, "Oh, he did something to his groin."
Tom, you a doctor? Hey, can you fix my hip?
And then I know you talked about Malachi already, somebody. What is it about him,
competitor,
in particular, that allowed him to do what he did?
He's
in
a
this
competitor.
Cooker,
I mean, he believes in himself as much as anybody can, which is a great trait, Bob. But he's a competitor. We setting a press conference record, or what are we doing?
We number 4 every day.
Sam, obviously, one win on the record, but what can this win do for this team in the rest of the season?
I'm not for sure. It's more. I agree with you. There's a lot to be. Not for sure that this win will do. It'll do a bunch, but that locker room there believes we're pretty good. They work hard. They're together. And I think it's going to do more for the state to, who was veering over here. Hey, they're going to fire the coach. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. When the hell we're getting this guy out of here? All that stuff. I think maybe it'll unite the state a little bit and saying, hey, this is our guys. Let's go back them like they did tonight. And I'll be honest with you, most states have been doing that anyhow. But I think it's more for the state to do that than our team, because our teams believe that we can beat anybody in the country if we just have the same amount of times as we have the ball. And so I do think it's a big deal, though, and the kids will really have a good time tonight. And then, we're off next week. It's a wonderful time to go beat the 4 team in the country.
Coach, appreciate you. We'll start on the record.